All right. So you want to be a candle maker. You want to make candles. These are 5 must-haves that you need to get started in the candle making business. My name is Ahmad, man. I'm a candle maker, content creator, all that. Been making candles now about 5 years. And so these are things that I feel like if you have these things, you'll be good. If not, you can work up to them however you want to do it. But without further ado, we're going to get into it. So the first thing I'm going to say, I'm going to just group this together. It is supplies. So you need supplies. So you got your wicks, your wick clips. You need glue dots. I think I got some glue dots up here somewhere. Glue dots. I got these from Amazon. Obviously, your scents, whatever scent you want. This is blood orange. I don't even know what that is, but I have it. So, get those. Obviously, your vessels, all of those. So supplies. Supplies is the first thing. You can't make no candles without supplies. Now, one thing I will say is you will probably test a lot of some different supplies. That's okay. The supply. Oh, wax. I forgot wax. You gotta have wax, right? Can't make candles without wax. I use coconut apricot wax. Been using it now. I love it. That's my favorite wax. The most common wax is soy. I use coconut apricot wax, and I made this in videos a long time ago for a couple of different reasons. One, I feel like it's easier to work with. It's more of a beginner-friendly wax. With soy, you get like a lot of wet spots and stuff. I don't get that really with coconut apricot wax. And not only that, it makes the tops of the wax look clearer. So what I mean by tops is this. I don't want to use that one. That's not a good example. Nope, that's not a good example either. I'll take this one. That's fine. This should work. So tops is like this. So you see how white that looks? That's what I mean by top. So the top of the candle. It makes it look more white when you use coconut apricot wax because it's a whiter wax. It is a more expensive wax because it's a quote unquote more luxurious wax, which also means it's like a healthier wax. Not necessarily healthier than soy, definitely healthier than paraffin. But I just use it for those reasons. But it is more expensive, but it's just easier for me to use. So your supplies you're gonna change, at first to kind of figure out what kind of jars, what kind of vessels you like. There are a lot of sites that you can use if you want me to make another video about the supply places that I use. I can drop it in the comments. To name a few: Candle Science, Makesy, Flaming Candle Co. The Flaming Candle. I mean, what else? Midwest Fragrance, but they only do fragrances. So yeah, you can start with any of those. That's a good start. As you look for stuff, you'll find more stuff on the internet. They just all pop up together. That's the first thing that you need. Another thing I would say is you need a recipe, like a recipe that works for your wax. And with that, I would say the third thing is time, right? Or you can say time is the second thing, recipe is the third thing, because you need time to get good at making candles. That doesn't mean you need a lot of time. You just need to be able to practice and test. And all testing means is the practice. So you just need to practice with how you want your candles to smell, how you want them to look, how you want them to perform. So for me, even though I got coconut apricot wax, I usually use wood wicks. And this is not necessarily the traditional wick to go with that. It's usually like a cotton wick. But I don't like cotton wicks. I feel like this looks more luxurious. So that's why I use wood wicks. So it's just a testing to see what kind of recipe is going to go well with your candles. That is the second thing. And like I said, the third thing is time. And you can do them in reverse order. Doesn't matter. I would say the fourth thing that you need is a way to sell, right? Because we got to make money. So a lot of people say, well, I want to do social media, which is cool. Social media is cool. I would say the only thing with social media is if you don't actually know how to use social media and you kind of got to figure out social media, you want to use social media, but I think you want to find an easier way to sell first because the best thing to do is just to get out there and get selling. So what I recommend, like I recommend everybody, is pop-ups. I know it can be scary. I know it can be nerve-wracking, but it's not as bad. The way you can find pop-ups is how I first found them and how they was given to me because I was wrecking my mind trying to find pop-ups on Google. You can go through like TikTok, but the way that I did it is Facebook groups. So if you look at Facebook groups, just look at like I got a page that's like I live in Florida, so it's like Florida events or whatever city you're in, events or pop-ups or whatever you're in, markets near me, or get on Instagram. People that do like markets every weekend. They can do like shopping markets, they can do outside pop-up events, they can do like the food markets, whatever it is, kind of, you know what I mean by markets, like whatever you can go pop up and buy stuff at, those things. And you can start looking on Instagram. Usually they either follow each other or like when you start looking through similar pages, those pages will come up. But I use Facebook first because the Facebook group, it got 1,000 people in there. People are posting different events, and you kind of can choose which one you want. And it's not like you need a certain amount of followers and stuff to get in there. And that way too, you can kind of, because some events they want you to have like your business information, and I'm not doing all that. Insurance, I'm not doing all that. So I just find a local pop up that I think is cool, and then you know what I'm saying, I put my application in, I pay my vendor fee if they have a vendor fee. Churches and community events are great for this too. Usually it's not a vendor fee, or if not, it's really cheap. So that's what you do. Find a way to sell. That is the fourth thing that you do. The fifth thing I would say is to be creative, because you want to know how to, not you want to know how to, you want to find a way to set your candles apart from people. I'm a male and I'm a black male. That is two ways that I set myself apart as a candle maker. It's not a lot of men that are in this space, and it's not a lot of black men that are in this space. So automatically, even if my candles aren't top tier, that sets me apart. Another thing is that my candles actually smell good and they actually last longer, and people speak on my behalf for me, so I don't have to do the talking. So once you selling and you get your stuff out there, you're giving out your business cards or your samples or however you want to do it, that just gets people in the door. If you're scared of like going into a big pop-up, start with a small one. Start with some free ones. It might not give you as much traffic at first, but it will allow you to get into the habit of getting good at selling. And sometimes you'll have to sell yourself. But if that scares you, don't worry about it, because people are usually coming to these events to buy things. So once you get a couple sales and people start buying stuff, you get better. Like, okay, I can do this. I get in the habit of doing this. I done did this a couple times, few times, 3, 4, 5 times, and you'll get a lot better at that. I would say the bonus, patience. You got to be patient. Don't be hard on yourself in this process. Like, I've been doing this 5 years. You know what I mean? There are some people who right now they've opened up shops. There are people who have been doing it longer than me who still don't make a lot of money. You know, it's a wide range of people. People who've been doing shorter that, like I said, open up shops. There are people who've been doing it longer, who don't make as much, who make more, who don't do events, who do it. Like, it's kind of whatever your business idea is. You'll figure out what you want to do. You might decide, you know what? I don't want to do pop-ups anymore. I want to do strictly online, or I want to do strictly pop-ups, or I want to open up a shop, or whatever the idea is. It doesn't really matter. But this will be your business. This will be your hobby, and you'll figure it out. So these are the 5 things that I would say, plus the bonus is 6, to get started, that you need to get started. If you have any questions about candles, don't be afraid to drop in the comments. Till next time, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you want more candle making content, candle tutorials, all that. I haven't made as many, but if you guys want to see that, I'll start dropping more as well. Till next time, peace.